All right, howdy everybody. I was asked a few questions from HL. We'll see if this ends up in one video or three. But these, the first, this is the double angle page for number 8 and 9 on the double angle page. And then I was also asked about the sum and difference page, number 14. So I went ahead and worked them all, and then I wanted to talk about it. But I didn't want to take the time to work it with you on the video. I just wanted to make it a little faster. Okay, so find the exact value of tangent if they tell us, okay, so they're telling us that tangent of 2a is equal to 21 over 20. And they're telling us that a is obtuse, which tells me I'm in quadrant 2, and therefore tangent has to be negative. So what I can do is I can use that formula that I know from my double angle formulas, plug in tangent of 2a, cross multiply, and then so pause the video here and check to make sure that you agree with all of this. So then I'm just factoring. This is a good one to do a U substitution. I think, did I do a U substitution? Oh, I did on number 9. But if this is a little too confusing to figure out how do I factor, then you could do a U substitution and split the middle term and all this kind of stuff. I was just kind of trying to power my way through it and figure out what multiplies to give me 21. Well, 7 times 3, and then, so 7 times 3, and I just needed to figure out where to put the 7s in, the 3s. So now, I factored, and then I got tangent of a was equal to 3/7, and then I got tangent of a was equal to negative 7/3. Well, they're telling me that a is obtuse, which means that in quadrant 2, that tangent has to be negative. So this one is no good, and I'm gonna go with that one, and so it's negative 7/3. The other one behaves in an almost identical way, so pause the video if you want to try and do it on your own first. But I set this up, and then I cross multiplied, and then I got down to here and I split the middle term, and maybe I was going to factor by grouping, but the 2 kind of messed me up, and so I just didn't really care. And from there, I remembered how to factor. And since a is acute, that means it's in quadrant 1, that means that tangent is positive. So when I got down to having 2 answers that were, one was negative, one was positive, I took the positive one and moved on with my life. Hope that was helpful. Okay, the next one, I didn't really cover half angle formulas, but what happens here is that if you manipulate the double angle formulas, so something like if you let theta equal u over 2, then 2 theta would be equal to just u. So you can manipulate these formulas here to become those over there. Okay, that's kind of how that works. And some years we cover it, and some years we don't. And you know, COVID makes everything stupid. So what I did is I worked this 2 different ways. I worked it where assuming that we knew the half angle formulas, and I worked it assuming we didn't, okay? So what I would know here is, well, so they're asking me to find tangent of pi over 8. Well, I don't know pi over 8, but I do know something that's twice that big. So I said let theta equal pi over 8, and therefore 2 theta is going to be pi over 4. So now I can do, this right here is using this right here, so it's 2 theta, this is theta, and I'm just plugging into right here. And then when I got to this point, I looked at this, and I'm trying to solve for tangent of pi over 8. Well, it gets to be quadratic, and then I was just kind of annoyed by that, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't factor nicely. So at this point, I did a U substitution. Not a me substitution, but a U substitution. It's still funny to me. I say it every year, multiple times every year, and it's still funny to me. But so I let u equal tangent of pi over 8, so then I can plug it in, and I have u squared plus 2u minus 1. This looked like a perfect thing to complete the square on, because, excuse me, because I don't like the quadratic formula, and I knew it didn't factor. So completing the square, I get down to this. But what we know is that pi over 8 won't have, okay, let me try that again. Tangent of pi over 8 won't have multiple answers. It will have one answer. That line has one particular slope. And so what I did, well, but this doesn't tell me if I need the positive one or the negative one. So what I know is that pi over 8 is in quadrant 1 somewhere, and so therefore it has to be positive. So I needed the plus sign in there. Then I did option 2, and that's where I went back to this chart, because to be honest with you, I have all these memorized, but I don't have these memorized. I always have to go back and look at them, especially because they're kind of close to each other, and it's just kind of annoying. So here we are. So I grabbed that equation, plugged this in, and then I knew that tangent of pi over 8 would be equal to tangent of pi over 4 divided by 2, or it's 1/2. That's half of pi over 4. That would be equal to pi over 8. Okay, so then I can plug in pi over 4 into all of my lovely spots. But when I do, I'm taking the square root of some square roots, and there is a way, okay, so I could rationalize the denominator, and then there's a way to deal with a square root under the square root, but it didn't seem like the best use of my time, seeing as I'm going to be out tomorrow for a funeral, and I've got a ton of work to do. So at that point, I went to Desmos and typed in this was the answer that I got the first one on the first problem. This was the answer that I got the second method. Well, this is those are the exact values. And then when I noticed that all their decimal approximations were the same, it made me happy. There we go. That's number 2. Let's keep going. We're going to do 3 examples in one. So the next one says, find the tangent of an acute angle between 2 lines with gradients 1/2 and 2/3. So I Googled grid and stole somebody's grid. My bad. And then I have one line that has a gradient of 1/2. And so I went up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And I drew this line. And then I had a gradient of 2/3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. And I drew the triangle here just to kind of help me see what was going on. Now, I didn't need to, but it did make my life a little easier. So then I labeled the points K-O-S-H because, you know, of course, K-O-S-H. And what I'm trying to find is the goal is to find the tangent of K-H-O. So I called that one, K-H-O, I called it C. And then KHS, the funny thing is I went to Klein Oak High School, but our rival school was Klein High School, so KHS, Klein High School. Anyway, never mind. I don't know why I told you that. Okay, so OHS right here, I called angle B. I called the big one A, I called the little one B, and then the one that we're looking for is C. So I know that C, that's my goal, is equal to A minus B. So tangent of C is going to be tangent of A minus B. And then I can, oh, you know what? I messed up. Good thing I'm coming back to check this. I got my formula wrong. It's the negative in the top and a positive in the bottom. Oh. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. I caught my mistake. I mean, you caught my mistake. Or whatever. It doesn't really matter. So on here, notice it's just tangent. Let's come back to here. We've got tangent of A minus B over 1 plus tangent A tangent B. So I didn't feel like working with fractions and fractions, so I multiplied everybody by 6 over 6. Distributed everything through. These canceled, leaving me with a 2 there. Anyway, I get 1/8. Hope that was helpful. Go study, go practice. Good luck to you. Think of me tomorrow. I won't be with you, but you still need to study and do a lot of good math. So good luck to you.